Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matthew Chute. I'm ChuteChi. I am the Climate Buddha on Facebook. This is my current Climate Buddha Facebook page. Today is, I believe, the June 19th, 2019. It's Wednesday. The Climate Buddha has put some effort into his Climate Buddha page to provide the world with the ongoing bad news that the climate is changing and changing rapidly, and that the climate in general is part of a larger problem of the environment in specific. And I just reposted this article, which was a great little video produced by Jan Wiley, and it's a very good job looking at the implications of how much pollution and what that pollution is doing to our children and autism and all these things that are happening because we're just polluting the environment too much. I have an anchor.com episode creation system which sends my work to all sorts of different people, and I have a Patreon account as well that sends my work to all different type of people. And my Patreon account needs to be posting some more of my current episodes. But we're seeking support for the Climate Buddha's efforts. And what we're going to talk about today is a great article that has come out about Boaty McBoatface. The Boaty McBoatface saga back in 2016 was very close to my heart. I don't know if you remember this process, but this article actually has some links to get more information about this. But in 2016, the UK government decided to ask the people, using hashtag distributepower principles, and say that democratic policy making can be handled by the voting population. Just let them make policy. And the policy they were seeking was to name the recent research vessel that they had just built, and they put it out into the internet and said, what name do you want? And the top name was Boaty McBoatface. And if we went down about 6 or 7 more in the top 10 list of names, it was Have a Drink for You, Dear, and number 10, I believe, was something like what's it to you. So anyways, the others were valid boat names, but Boaty McBoatface simply won by a landslide. Well, whoever was in charge of this project in the government of the United Kingdom just said, no, we're not gonna name this beautiful research vessel Boaty McBoatface, but we will name this really cool submersible. And it turns out that this Boaty McBoatface submersible has already done some pretty extensive trips. It's gone on a massive adventure where it has seen the bottom of the ocean in great detail and discovered that there are eddies and different currents at the very base bottom of these trenches. This type of knowledge is eventually going to filter its way into the scientific community, and there's going to be some piece of information about the upwelling of the low-lying waters in the upper strata of the ocean that's probably going to be related to and updated mathematically because of the turbulence patterns that a Boaty McBoatface has picked up. Something along those lines scientifically is probably going on. But I'd like to go through some things on my Facebook feed so that you can stay up on what the Climate Buddha is doing. I welcome you to listen to some of my other podcasts. The Change is Needed Now issue, which is my post from the 16th of June, was a real good podcast, and it was basically saying that we don't have much time, and that the process of instant radical change, hashtag instant radical change, is not some sort of pipe dream fantasy world of, it's the truth. How do we change everything? How do you do it? What's the method that you would use? How would we get from point A to point B as fast as possible? Do you know that when we decided to start the Manhattan Project, there was a real sense of camaraderie and teamwork, and a sense that this had to be done before our enemies captured this scientific knowledge and exploited it fully? We need that same spirit when tackling the climate. But this is a different type of project in that building a large thing and bringing together all the necessary tools. And this is typical organizational systems for human beings, typical of them. But this is not building something. What happens in response to climate change is not going to be a process of building things. It's going to be a process of saving things. It's going to be a process of doing things that need to be saved. And the problem is that this process is kind of the antithesis of most of the hardcore, I want to go build something type of energy that humans at their most efficient are attracted to. Well, universal alignment is a time when everybody is going to know what's going on and what's going wrong with the climate. Everybody's going to know that their days of good weather are over. And it's because of that time of universal alignment, when everybody is in realization that together we're facing a struggle that simply is not going to be easily repaired, that we have to work together in a gargantuan task to completely repair all the damage that has happened to our environment and to our climate. This effort, this decision to accept universal alignment for what it is, which is essentially a life on Earth, on hospice situation, that we are now getting together to not just build something, but to repair things, to repair emotions, to repair the damage that has been created. The idea that we need to do this in a slow, gradual level, using incremental change models, had its place, but we're just a little bit past due at this point. If we go to one of the abrupt climate change speaking experts, of which that I have been following and listening to some extent for years on end, is a man by the name of Guy McPherson. And he's currently writing articles about the problems of change, and that becoming hope-free, parallels between death of individuals and extinction of Homo species. This is a journal article where Guy discusses the problems with hope as a solution. Unfortunately, so many of our religious systems, so many of our religious practices are hope discovered in disguise. And you can face any problem by just simply spinning it into optimism and positivity and hope that your view of the thing is going to come out. Well, it turns out that research is indicating that that mechanism of going into an optimistic, positive hope is stopping the changes that need to take place. We need to let go of hope and create a new model of the universe that is actually based on the reality of that universe. And the thing is, the more that we get to the reality of what is actually happening, instead of what we hope will happen, the more we'll accurately be able to make the decisions that need to be made to solve the problems we're facing. I think this current video that I'm showing you right now, this flow of people as it's going through a street, is really one of the major problems that we have as a species, is that we don't know how to stop building. We don't know how to stop growing. Well, instant radical change, hashtag instant radical change, admits that and says, you know, we have to make a massive philosophical change about what's important. And that growth is no longer important. It's the opposite of growth that's important. It's going through a process where the degrowth process can be a completely joyous experience for all. So instant radical change is not passive, and the universal alignments are not negative. They are opportunities for change that could be wondrous and spectacular for all of humanity. Because frankly, creating tremendous amounts of population, frankly, creating mountains of trash, frankly, destroying every square inch of the environment in order for this process to continue, has ridden itself into the sunset. It's time for a new model, a new metaphor, a new way to look at things. Hashtag universal alignment's a good way to start. Start listening to those who talk of abrupt climate change and how much time that it takes for things to change beyond our control. And we'll see that this man, Mr. Guy McPherson, author of the Nature Bats Last show, has said again and again that our days are numbered based on the unfortunate math of exponential change as it relates to the climate. There's a livable climate, and there's a climate that is not going to be livable. And unfortunately, we're heading towards that a little bit faster than anyone can expect. My name is Matthew Chute. I'm the Climate Buddha. I thought we'd put some interesting pieces of news to you and some locations to look on the internet to find more information about abrupt climate change and about the problems that our world has